Hello everyone, it's Hidej. Now, similar to our previous video, we're going to cover another game that is played between a computer AI and a professional player. Last time it was Bonanza, but this time, playing white, it's Akara. Yes, this is the name of the engine we're going to take a look at, but it's not a single engine, actually. The thing is, Akara consists of 4 independent AIs, so it's kind of a joint team of 4 AIs, and it uses some voting system to choose the next move. And it consists of actually Geki-sashi and Bonanza again, and YSS, and finally GPS. So these 4 are thought to be the strongest AIs that we have today, and they gather to create this voting system to challenge women professional player Ichiyo SHIMIZU, who is a top flight women professional player, and this is the second official match between an AI and professional player. And Akara, it actually means it's a name of number, and that means 10 to the 224th power, which I didn't know. In Japanese we have the names for many kinds of numbers, just like you do in English, like 100,000, million, billion, trillion, like that. We also have those numbers every 4 digits. And I thought there are only those for 10 to the 64th or the 68th. I don't remember, but I didn't know there was a name for 224th. Actually, the position, the number of possible positions in Shogi is said to be around 10 to the 224th power. So that's why they named this engine Akara. All right. So now let's take a look at this game. Oh, and by the way, this game took place in last October, very recently, and it was played in University of Tokyo. And a lot of people went there to see the game on live. So now let's take a look at it. Black is Shimizu. She played pawn to 2f. Well, she's a static rook player. Akara played pawn 3d, pawn 7f, and bishop 3c. Okay, now these first 2 moves by Akara was not decided with voting system. It was actually pre-programmed manually, I guess, because they know Shimizu is not used to this opening, actually. This strategy is called bishop 3c on 4. Now, when black seizes, black should basically trade the bishop, like bishop 3c, taking and knight recaptured. So she did that. And black's basic plan is eventually black will try to attack the knight's head. But that's not so easy to do. White can anytime make a counterattack with simply leaping over, because there's this bishop diagonal open. This side is might be open too if attacking with the knight. The rook can whenever come to here, counterattack or a 3b. So it's not so simple. So let's see what black played. She played gold to 7h. Okay. White played rook to 4b. Well, if black just simply goes for the second file, maybe white will go for opposing rook. But it chose 4b this time. Okay, so silver 4h, king goes castling with 6b, 6h, and 7b. Now, once the rook has moved to 4b, now black pushes a pawn up to 2e, and if white goes there, 2b, it means white lost the move. So that's the point of this pawn push. But white calmly moves the king to 8b. Well, if black goes ahead, black can exchange a pawn, but white can actually make offer a rook trade. And if black drops a pawn, it's too heavy. Maybe bishop 2c is also an option, or I don't know, maybe black has to be careful of this diagonal. So if the knight leaps over, that bishop drop will occur. So Black didn't go ahead. So she played king to 7g. Now, this might look pretty strange to you, moving the king into this diagonal, but that's not so uncommon in this strategy. Instead of going this way, which requires the silver to get out of that route first, it's better to go this way, right? And if white simply checks with bishop, it's no problem. You can just block it. Okay, so rook to 2b now. Okay, now white lost one move here. Okay, king to 7h, 8h, silver 7b, half minnow castle. Pawn to 5f, silver 4b, pawn to 3f, and pawn to 5d. All right, now what black should be careful now is this diagonal. It can be checked by bishop anytime, and white has this taking pawn move, and then push this pawn to break the second file like that. So black chose not to go for the knight's head, and rather bring her knight to the 3g to protect these squares. Okay. So white played now silver to 5c, activating his silver. Now, what should black do here? Okay, now she chose this move, lands to 9h. She just goes for Anaguma. Once Akara sees this move, it immediately dropped the bishop to 4d, checking. Now black has to block it. She blocked it with the bishop, which just simply took it, and gold recaptures. Now, after making black's camp a little bit vulnerable, then white plays silver, even up to 6d. Very good sequence. Now, black didn't move the castle to 9i, but she did gold to 5i. Okay, now bishop 4d again to secure this very nice diagonal for white and very uncomfortable diagonal for black. Okay, now pawn to 4f. Okay, obviously threatening to push this pawn and get this bishop out of that diagonal. However, at this position, white played silver to 6e, going for this pawn. All right. And yeah, also this pawn, because this gold is pinned with this bishop, right? Now, of course, black now puts his pawn up to 4e, attacking the bishop. And basically, I think normally the bishop will go back to 5c or 6b, right? I mean, usually 5c, going for 6d, attacking this diagonal maybe. But here, Akara played knight takes 4e. Okay, interesting. Now, why don't we take a look at how Akara decided this move? So let's take a look at the voting inside Akara, okay? And actually, I have a very good website for this. I found something here. It's this website, actually. I don't know who made this, but this is a great web blog. It actually visualizes the voting system inside Akara. So let me first explain the voting system itself. So this is the table that shows it. I think it's a little bit too small, so why don't we zoom up? How do I do that? So as you can see, we have here Geki-sashi has 2.9 voting points. Bonanza has 1.9, YSS has 1.9, and GPS has 1. And then actually there are 4 more AIs. These are GPS cluster, Geki-sashi cluster, Bonanza cluster, and YSS cluster. And I'm not sure what these means, but kind of backup clusters for each of the AIs. Now, as you can see, the hardware consists of 3.33 gigahertz 6-core CPU. Those are the main engines. And for clusters, for subclusters, they say it's 4-core 2.8 gigahertz 109 CPUs and 60 CPUs with 2.4 gigahertz. In total, 169 CPUs with 676 cores. And as you can see, Bonanza, YSS, and GPS, they all have 2 points each, and they just distribute them into the main and the subcluster. So, for example, in Bonanza, 1.9 plus 0.1, right? And GPS 1 plus 1, all 2. But Geki-sashi, since it is a champion of computer Shogi championship, it has more vote. So it has 3 in total, 2.9 for the main and 0.1 for the backup cluster. Okay, so this is voting system. Now then let's take a look at the whole log here. All right. Okay, so now let's go ahead to the knight to 4e, taking a pawn move. Where is it? Okay. Okay, now it's here. So 35th move is pawn to 4e. When black was thinking for pawn to 4e, the engines are also thinking about the next move, and they thought pawn to 4e was the most probable move, and that was correct. And once they decide which move they will think after, so in this case, they decided to assume black's next move is pawn to 4e, and then they start to think for the next move when black has not played pawn to 4e yet. And this shows the first vote. This is the first vote, and from this instant, the 5 engines out of 8 has already chose pawn to 4e, pawn takes 4e. Oh, I'm sorry, knight takes 4e, the move that is played. Well, very interesting. And Geki-sashi main and Geki-sashi cluster, they both requested bishop to 5c, which is rational. And what is interesting, 0.1 vote is made for bishop takes 7g promote. Unbelievable. And that was made by this Bonanza subcluster. And remember I said in the last video, Bonanza likes to trade his bishop with the opponent's gold. He values gold more than bishop. So he's trying to do that. But none of other engines will listen to him. So, but the move isn't decided yet. They go for second vote after some thinking time, and there's been an interesting change. Bonanza main CPU changed his mind and he voted for bishop takes 7g. So to Bonanza, these guys are going for bishop sack. Very funny. Okay, Geki-sashi still insists on bishop 5c, and all other votes for knight takes 4e. Now then, after black actually play pawn 4e, they then go for the third vote. Now things are now even interesting. Look at bishop to 7g. Now YSS cluster, he's even persuaded now by 2 Bonanzas. Geki-sashi is still calm. They insist bishop 5c, and other insist on knight to 4e. So you can hear what Geki-sashi is saying here. Are you guys crazy? You guys don't even know how to calculate material balance. We're facing professional player, okay? Now let's play bishop 5c. But they don't listen. Only the Geki-sashi is voting for 5c. And although it has 3 points alone, unfortunately 3.9 votes were made for knight takes 4e. Finally, and they chose knight takes 4e. Finally. Yeah, so kind of interesting. So now let's take a look at the game again here. Okay, so black will of course take the knight, and here white's plan is of course now bishop takes 5f. Yeah, not 7f. It goes 5f, which now attacks the knight, and also white can promote anytime here. But white lost material with 1 knight, and so what black should do here? Well, this is a very important position for black. She thought pretty long. You can easily see knight drop on 5c, which enlarges the material balance difference. But after taking the gold, what should black do here? Maybe black should in advance make this pawn sack to make the rook file lighter. So she thought very long, but after all, she just played knight drop to 5c. So gold to left takes and gold recaptures. Now the material balance is even bigger. It's 1 gold up for black. But seeing this position, well, interestingly, is not so good for black yet. You know, the reason this bishop is great, you know, and once black, now once white gets the knight, I mean, he was going to get this knight anytime, but now it's even got this knight in his hand. So of course, knight drop on 80 or 60 is decisive, right? So not so easy for black. And now the problem is, at this position, if black plays pawn to 2d, maybe white will not take it, might ignore and just keep attacking, and she thought it is uncomfortable. So after all, she thought for very long here and finally dropped the gold to 6f, blocking the bishop diagonal and attacking the silver. So silver, of course, takes the knight on 40 now, making the material balance difference a little bit smaller. And well, then black can now go to pawn to 2d. White takes, and bishop drop on 3a. Rook runs to 2c, and bishop promotes to 4b. But of course, knight drop on 7d, attacking the gold. It's not good that gold runs, but black has a very good move here. Silver up to 5g, activating this silver to the very important position of the game, the left side, and also making the rook's influences bigger. But white's not going to take it immediately. It even dropped another knight to 7g. Okay, it is not comfortable to open the bishop's diagonal, so she even used the gold to protect there. So 2 generals are now into the action. So now white takes the gold, gold recaptures, now takes the gold, silver recaptures. So she uses this general very cool. But now the material balance is swapped. It's up for white already. Okay, now from this position, things get even interesting. White dropped the gold to 5b, making a minnow castle, and after the horse attacks the rook, it offers a rook horse trade. And well, the other professional players think that black should have keep the horse here, and then black could simply win. But Shimizu already used most of her thinking time, and she couldn't think that thoroughly. So she simply accepted trade. Bishop recaptures. Well, black can go now, of course, but she decided not to go for that yet. She made this attack, knight drop on 8f. Okay, this is a very strong move. You know what is threatening is black can anytime make this connected knight attack, because it goes like that, and this way it's a checkmate, right? Rook drop, so has to go this or this, and if black then has a diagonal piece, it's going to be a very vulnerable king, right? So a very good attack, this knight drop. But black doesn't have a diagonal piece yet, so white makes an interesting move. Gold drop on 6a. Very heavy move. But you know, once white takes this silver, look at this. Bishop on drop on 4f will be a decisive attack. So black played gold to 7h. Now what is the next move for white? Well, I thought, for example, bishop drop on 4f is cool, attacking the rook, protecting this pawn, attacking here. But it chose even cooler move. Bishop drop on 5g. Because this silver is pinned, black cannot take it, and it even promotes to 4f. So it is much better than dropping a bishop to 4f, but putting a horse to 4f is better, right? Now let's take a look at how Akara found this cool move, don't we? So where's that? Where's that? Bishop drop on 5G. Okay, this one, right? Well, it seems they made 9 votes, but from the first place, Geki-sashi suggested that move, bishop drop on 5G, with 4.9 votes, along with YSS, and but it didn't decide on that move. And for vote 2, for some reason, other engines requested bishop to 4D against Geki-sashi. Okay, vote 3 is bishop 4D. Vote 4 is bishop 4D. Well, only Geki-sashi and YSS cluster is voting for bishop drop on 5G. Okay, still bishop 4D, bishop 4D, bishop 4D, and vote 8 is bishop 4D. And final vote, vote 9, all of a sudden, Bonanza was persuaded by Geki-sashi team, and he changed his mind to from bishop 4D to 5G. So finally, Bonanza and Geki-sashi are friends. So they chose finally this cool bishop drop. Okay, now from here, Black decided to pull his silver back to 7G, hardening his hard castle, but silver comes over to 5F. So very annoying silver here. Well, this silver is moving very actively again and again. Very annoying for black. Okay, now black played rook to 5H. Okay, this is a very good move. You have to be careful. I mean, white has to be careful that black can anytime sack this rook for a bishop, which means, yeah, she has the diagonal piece to drop on 8B. So white has to be careful for this knight drop on 7D. But white makes now a very cool move again. Bishop to 5E. Very calm move, covering 8B square. Unbelievable. I mean, who voted for this? Well, it's interestingly, most of the engines voted on bishop 5E. And at last, only the Geki-sashi main engine is suggesting bishop runs to 4F. But all other, even the Geki-sashi cluster, votes on bishop 5E. Interesting. The reason is, bishop 4F, and if black takes the silver, horse can recapture and protect this square, right? So that's the idea. But what if black drops the bishop, knight first, and then taking it? Well, but it's not a bishop, it's just a silver, so not a problem, I guess. But anyway, white chose bishop 5e. Okay, now rook to 4i, a desperate move to attack the gold. So gold now takes the silver, gold recaptures, and silver goes ahead. 6G promote, black sacks as rook, silver recaptures, and yeah, she doesn't give up. Bishop drop on 6F. Okay, now white has to be careful again. Once black takes out this bishop, it loses the defender on 8B square. So all of a sudden, knight drop on 7D will happen, and also it's attacking this silver. But white overwhelms that idea. It dropped the rook to 5H, checking and also protecting this silver. King ran, and then, okay, now it played even safe move again. Silver drop. The proverb goes silver on knight's head, which can even anytime take out the knight and also protect this square. So now black has this move, gold drop on 5i. It's a defender removal. Once the rook runs, black can take out this silver, but it's fine. White knows that. It runs to 3h. Black takes the silver, but white eliminates that knight there, taking And look at this. Black cannot recapture because it is pinned with the bishop, and cannot recapture with the silver, of course, because it is a checkmate. So it's already a win for white. Black now desperately dropped the bishop, the silver to 6f, but calmly a knight drop on 9e comes over, and seeing this move now, black finally resigned. So this was a big news for Shogi world. Even for non-shogi communities all over the world. The ordinary TV news shows even covered this incredible news. A computer engine finally beat a professional player. Great. But, woman professional is not a genuine professional player, if you haven't already known that. It's a very different system from genuine professional. There is no woman that has ever passed third Dan Ling and became a real professional player. So, we can't say yet that engine beat a professional, but at least a top flight woman professional. So it's a big, big news. And our question is, now when are they going to challenge a male professional? Again? Yeah, we'll see. So, it was a great game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.